Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 8/2/2023. So now let us quickly look into some of the most important issues. So the first thing, if I look, existing limit to fix OBC non-creamy layer enough. See guys, if anyone comes in OBC and if they are earning less than 8 lakh, then they will get reservation. And if the 8 lakh limit is increased to 11 lakhs, let's say, then everyone below 11 lakh will get reservation. Government is saying that 8 lakh is enough, no need to increase. Others are arguing that we need to increase so that other eligible people will also come into this. So that is the debate that is going on. Supreme Court declines to take up pleas against elevating lawyer. See, now when I look at Supreme Court, yesterday we were discussing an article. So let me elaborate it a bit. So the first major point is Victoria Gauri is chosen as additional judge in Madras High Court. Now the opposition says she is involved in some comments against minorities. So you should reconsider. The case went to Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court is telling the collegium system is strong enough, it will do certain scrutinies before giving any verdict. So there is no need for us to interfere. Second, she is just an additional judge. She is not going to be permanent. When she goes and becomes a permanent judge, then we can think. Till that time, we cannot give orders. Now you see, if Supreme Court gives orders to reconsider, that means collegium system might have done a mistake. And if Supreme Court agrees that, then tomorrow when government says please reconsider the name, then Supreme Court has to look into it again. It can't say that when I say that you need to reconsider, then the collegium has to reconsider. But when government says reconsider, collegium doesn't reconsider. That is wrong. So this would become a precedence that collegium system is not effectively choosing the people. So to ensure that they won't get that particular name, they have done all these cases. Fine. So these are very important precedences that you should observe. But anyways, the issue is not important because it is dying down. Rahul Gandhi asks PM to explain ties with Adani. So these are all political issues which goes on, guys. It is quite but natural for few days that all the opposition will target the government on Adani groups. So this keeps on going. But the problem here is they want to probe, right? JPC, that is Joint Parliamentary Committee, is set up on what? It is not on Hindenburg report. It is on link between PM and Adani. So if you start seeing what is the link between Rahul Gandhi's party or Congress and Tata's, what is the link between Rahul Gandhi and Malya? So if these type of probes shouldn't be done by the parliamentary committee. What is the committee's role? Okay, Hindenburg has given a report that Adani group has some issues. So we will look into it. So makes sense. So first establish that there is a crime done in Adani group. Then you go for this. So here, elections are about to come. The opposition wants some scam of the government, and they see it in the form of Adani linkage. It's not wrong. It's all about the political issues, but nothing should harm, the progress of the country due to this. Earthquake deaths pass 6,000 as Turkey, Syria seek survivors. Yesterday, I made you to write about this. Yes, that it should be more than enough. But, like, 2.3 million people are affected in Turkey and Syria, is what the reports are telling, which is huge number. No, a poly crisis that is depleting Pakistan's resilience. So, guys, let me tell you something about the Pakistan in detail. Six. When we look at India's history start from Aryans and even before that. Whereas Pakistan says that its history is from 1947. Because anything you teach before 1947 is about the Akhanda Bharat, or it is about India, the freedom struggle, anything that you take up. So even when they read the Jinnah story or something, it has to be about, how Jinnah tried to divide India and Pakistan, nothing more than that. Now, Muslim League, Muslim League tried to establish Pakistan. And the two leaders of this were Jinnah and Liaquat Ali Khan, right? Now, Jinnah died in the same year as Gandhi. Liaquat Ali Khan was assassinated. Pakistan was not left with any leader. So the vacuum was filled by military. So the military came and the military took over this particular area, right? So once military took over, military tried to establish their own rule, right? And they made it in such a way, whenever there is a political crisis, military will take over. In India, there can be emergency, but there are certain conditions for emergency to be applied. Indira Gandhi had applied emergency in a wrong manner. But in Pakistan, anything if it happens, military can take over easily. So what happened? Most of the years, military is controlling Pakistan. So after this, the military created ISI for intelligence information, which is also predominant. And the third thing that comes in Pakistan is democracy. Military, ISI, democracy. So now, when a military is ruling, how does the military behave? The military tries to say that army has to be funded more, than money given to industries, than money given to poor, than money given to agriculture. So US used to give money to India, Pakistan. India took it for food. Pakistan took it for military. So it was Pakistani military which is trying to collect as many weapons as possible to counter India. But money was not spent in economic development of Pakistan. So because of this, Pakistan is always in crisis. So there was no time when Pakistan had surplus. You see, guys, there is no big businesses in Pakistan. There is no big agricultural activity in Pakistan. But how are they surviving? They're surviving because of the military aid. Military aid they get. Now, when US attacked Afghanistan, after 9/11, US used to give money to Pakistan so that they can go to Afghanistan. So Pakistan used to get money mostly from US, Saudi Arabia, and other friendly countries. Pakistan never got money by its own income. So the economy of Pakistan was never strong. Now, what has happened? US aid has reduced because they withdrew from Afghanistan. Friendly countries, Saudi Arabia, China, and all are waiting to give. IMF is not ready to give bailout package because of the crisis, right? This is one. Second, they have political crisis. This time it is democracy which is at the helm, and democracy is facing the issue. So we have political crisis, we have military crisis, right? And they have terror activities. So when everything is going on, Pakistan is collapsing internally, right? So when we understand Pakistan, it's not only about Jammu Kashmir and other issues, it is about these aspects as well that we need to consider. Fine. So now, this is what the article tries to argue. A quick reset. India and Canada are looking at the big picture as they put behind discord. Because Canada is one of the developed country and it is trying to come closer with India with respect to Indo-Pacific region. Please understand here, in Canada, you have English, you have French, and you have Sikh population. First highest is English, second highest is French, third highest is Sikh population, SIKH, Punjabi population. And this Punjabi population, they can decide who should come to power in Canada. They have a very, very significant role. So now, in this case, what are we trying to study? Last time when Canada came to India, the problem we had was with respect to Khalistan movement. See, guys, for the freshers, let me just explain. In Punjab, there are some groups who want to make Indian Punjab a separate country. And that group is called Khalistan movement. Khalistan group. And these Punjabis are present in Canada, they are present in Australia and many other parts. And they fund Khalistan group. And their main ambition is to ensure that Punjab is separated from India. Pakistan army give weapons to them, and with Pakistan, military head, there is a Punjabi, and he is a Khalistan leader. You always, when you see Pakistan chief, you will also see that Khalistan chief. Recently, this Khalistani group tried to attack Indians in Australia as well. So there is a fear that there is revival of Khalistan movement, especially Aam Aadmi Party in power in Punjab. They support these type of voices. See, Aam Aadmi Party believes in people giving their own voices. Like, whoever wants whatever they want, they can talk. So they want to go for open freedom. So when you allow that, what is going to happen? That would lead to separation as well. And in a state like Punjab, which is having border with Pakistan, it is not safe. So this is one of the biggest issue that we have. But India and Canada are coming together in Indo-Pacific strategies. Indo-Pacific strategy. Now, fiscal consolidation in the context of the budget. So, guys, let me talk about certain important terminologies here. Guys. The first most important one is, what do you understand by fiscal consolidation? That means expenditure minus revenue. Actually, it's revenue minus expenditure, but in India, always expenditure is more than the revenue. Now, the gap between this must be reduced as much as possible. But due to COVID, our fiscal consolidation started increasing. So that is the biggest problem we have. Now, government said that for some years, let us reduce it, because if we try to say I have to spend money less for next few years, it would be very difficult for me, because during COVID my GDP would have reduced, right? So now, what does the article say? You see here, fiscal consolidation should happen at least in the medium term. Yeah, just a minute. Yes, fiscal deficit to 3% of GDP. This is very, very important. So, what is the meaning of this? They say, let us say India has a GDP. Fine. Now, what is the target? Fiscal deficit, that is revenue minus expenditure. If I take, it should be 3% of the GDP. Fine. So now let me say I am spending 1 lakh rupees. Fine. My earnings are 98,000. So deficit is 2,000, correct? Now my GDP is somewhere around 1 lakh. So I'm talking about 2,000 of 1 lakh. Just giving you example. So then it is 2%. But due to COVID, what happened? The GDP declined, right? GDP declined. So let me assume GDP became 80,000. 2,000 of 80,000 percentage increases, correct? So I'll just give you another example, guys. Let us say our expenditure is 1 lakh, earnings is 60,000, deficit is 40,000, correct? Now, GDP of India is 10 lakhs. Now, 40,000 I need to consider from 10 lakhs. That means it comes to approximately 4%. Fine. So it is 4% of GDP. This is how they calculate. But what happened? The GDP value due to COVID reduced. Russia-Ukraine war, it has reduced. Due to global economic situation, it has reduced. So when GDP reduces, this would increase. The percentage would increase. You must be aware about this case. As the GDP decreases, debt to GDP ratio increases. Prelims question. Fine. Fiscal debt to GDP ratio increases. They'll ask you these type of questions. So now India has a target, and unfortunately we are not in a position to reach the target. The article is trying to say that Indian government has not given any specific dates when it would be reaching the targets. But one should realize that COVID is over, but the economic situation post COVID is not yet over. So India is still concerned about that specific issue, guys. Right? So that is one important aspect. 30 crore missing voters are mostly young, urban, and migrants. US spy balloon. Yeah, this I want you to know this, guys. Because when we treat cancer, normally we give medicines. And what happens? These medicines will go and it tries to destroy the surrounding cells as well. So this is a problem. So now what is the new technology? It is something called CAR T cells. So guess T cells are the one which are used to create immunity within our body. So let us say in my body some foreign object came. Then white blood cells and others, they try to produce immunity. In that, T cells produce immunity with respect to cancer. It fights against cancer. So now, what are we trying to do? We are trying to take T cells from the body of the patient, and we will try to add chimeric antigen receptor CAR to it. So this will go into the body of the human beings, and now this is capable of killing the tumor and ensuring that the surrounding cells are not damaged and tumor is cured. Fine. So this is what they want to do. So I want you to write this: CAR T cell therapy. CAR T cell therapy hyphen chimeric chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy, which require which require mass produced, sorry, you just write which require T cells of the patient, T cells of the patient, and modify them and inject into patient's immune system. Next point: CAR T cell therapy CAR T cell therapy would help in effectively destroying tumor cells without affecting the surrounding cells. So guys, India is giving aid to Turkey. India Syria continued discussion to evolve a payment system. See guys, uh, there is sanctions on Russia. So India is trying to give in rupee form and collect it in ruble form so that it would be beneficial for India as well. Four TV journalists arrested, opposition targets government, parliament logjam, Turkey, Syria, left wing extremism related violence down by 76% in 2022. To be frank, the insurgencies and others have reduced a lot in the country. Once we'll take up that in detail and talk about it. Oil still needed while world transitions to clean energy system. See, if we all shift to electric vehicles, we will stop using petrol and diesel. We may use natural gas to produce electricity, but at the same time, diesel is required for producing electricity, especially inverters and all. But most of the vehicles will stop using petrol. Now that would lead to huge change geopolitically as well. Why? Because the countries which are giving oil today might not be relevant in future because no one will purchase oil. Everyone wants gas. So at that time, the countries which give gas will have more demand than others. So here they are trying to say till that time, definitely oil is required. It will take time. By that time, they would complete it as well. Off the beaten track, thieves make away with railway line in Madhubani. This is too much, guys. Even railway tracks, if they try to take and sell it to scrap, you can understand where we are heading to. Anyways, so these are some of the important issues, guys. Thank you.